Hello and welcome to another episode of Retro Gaming with Ricardo. This week's game, AfterBurner on the Atari ST. AfterBurner is a 1987 arcade game that was ported to many of the platforms post-1987 and is a combat flight simulator arcade, and was designed for SEGA. The player flies an F-14 with a moving seat in some installations using a specialised joystick, giving the player a more immersive experience. You can see it here in Terminator 2 with John Connor playing the game in the film. The game allows the player to control an F-14 combat jet, which must destroy a series of enemy jets throughout 18 stages. At the start of the game, the player takes off from an aircraft carrier called the SEGA Enterprise, which shares a similar name to the one used in the 1986 film Top Gun, featuring Tom Cruise. In the arcade version, the jet itself employs a machine gun and a limited set of heat-seeking missiles. In the Mastersystem version, there's an unlimited amount of missiles. These weapons are replenished, however, by another aircraft after beating several stages. The aircraft, cannon and missile buttons are all controlled from an integrated flight stick, this being ported onto the joysticks of the consoles or computers of the time. The game itself was released in two variations, a standard upright cabinet and a rotating cockpit version. In the cockpit version, the seat rotated horizontally and the cockpit rotated vertically. The rotating cockpit version also featured two speakers inside the cockpit at head level, which produced an excellent stereo sound experience that added to the gameplay and the atmosphere of playing the game. Both cabinets contained a grey monitor frame with flashing lights at the top that indicated an enemy's lock on to your aircraft. Upon release and port to other gaming consoles, the press were very complimentary. Computer Gaming World called AfterBurner on the console the first game that uses Sega's new 4 megabit technology and enhanced graphic capabilities. This added memory provides abundantly obvious advantages to this game. The aircraft was depicted in remarkable detail and spectacular scenery and excellent explosions. However, a later review on the computer was much more critical, giving the game 1 star out of 5 and stating it was inferior to the arcade version. Music from the soundtrack to the arcade version was included on the Your Sinclair cover tape. AfterBurner was followed by AfterBurner 2, which was released on the same year. Some consider this game to be more of a revision of its predecessor rather than an entirely new game. Although AfterBurner as a brand was long dormant, SEGA created a number of aerial combat games centered around the F-14 combat, with many similar features which are frequently regarded as part of the series. These include G-Lock Air Battle and its sequel Strike Fighter, that was later rebranded AfterBurner 3 in its home release. Later games associated with the series include Sky Target, which had similar gameplay, and SEGA Strike Fighter, an arcade flight combat game which featured free roaming movement, boasting similar music but with an FA-18 Hornet as the main plane. In regards to ports to other systems, the game was ported to numerous consoles and computers over its life. The Amiga, the PC, Amstrad CPC, Atari ST as you can see here, the Sharp X 68000, the Commodore, the Sega Master System, the Sega Saturn, the list goes on, Spectrum, the Game Boy Advance. AfterBurner 2 was placed on the Nintendo eShop in January 15, 2015 for the Nintendo 3DS handheld console, and a port of AfterBurner on the 32X was done by Robutu Games and was known as AfterBurner Complete in Japan and Europe. An unlicensed NES port of the game developed by Tengen also exists, which was reworked by Sunsoft for their Japanese exclusive port to the same console. AfterBurner Climax was later ported to Xbox Live Arcade, so if you've got that old 360, have a good look for that. Reviewing the 32X version, GamePro commented that the graphics and sound and gameplay are all great, but that the only difference between it and the Genesis version of AfterBurner 2 are some minor graphical adjustments. Arcade games such as AfterBurner appeared in the 1990 HBO movie By Dawn's Early Light in the flight ready room of the B-52 bomber pilots. As also mentioned, the deluxe cabinet appears in the Terminator 2 Judgment Day film, being played by John Connor as the T-1000 searches for him at the Galleria. This has been a fantastic game, although I must say quite a confusing game to play. You can't quite see the planes that are attacking you. However, all in all, good fun. Real good fun. I've been Ricardo, this has been Retro Gaming with Ricardo, and this week's game has been AfterBurner on the Atari ST. Please check back for more videos in the series. See you soon.